So you straight committed yourself to even if it meant getting a life sentence, you was gonna get a life
At
sentence.
that time, bro, yes. Like I said, it wasn't no GDs or Crips in my county at that time. Now it's different, now it's different. But at that time, that wasn't. It was just if you king or you blood, that's it.
Where?
And if a GD or Crip come through, and it's crazy because I'm mad cool with Crips and GDs to this day. Like I fuck with them, but at that time, in like 2009, we would, if the beef come through, we send one blood and we send one king, smash him, get him out of there, and that was it. And bro would tell you it was militant. So when I went upstate to Walpole, not the Max, when I went to Walpole, I was like, what the fuck is going on? But then when I got to the Max, I'm like, okay, this is where the this is where the Kings is. This is where the brothers is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They beat the shit out of us.
That was an injustice that I've never seen.
Then they emergency classed everyone and changed the whole jail, took all our property. Was you there for that?
Yeah.
Bro, remember they stripped us all in our boxes and made us walk to the gym, came back, took everything out the block. Everything. All property out the block.
I guess
I had a single cell. I was a runner. I was doing good, bro. I was on the emergency class list at that time. Do you think I could still qualify for that or not?
I don't. The cell door opens and the team charges inside. Officers scream, "Stop resisting."
Beggars, get your car flipped on the Zake. Shout out to Mort, Beazy, did his time, got on his feet again. They'd rather see you on the news.
Welcome back to the W Number, man. I got an awesome guest today, man. A great friend of mine, someone I did a lot of time with today. We're going to get into all that. Introduce yourself, man.
Mort Beazy, man. You know what's going on. East Boston's finest, man. Also known as Ms. Mark Brown. You know, I go by so many names, but y'all know Mort Beazy, man. You know, Eastie stand up, man. I'm proud of this brother, man. Pay attention, watch him, follow him, man, because he's going to make it. You heard? Straight up.
Appreciate that, bro. So let's get into kind of where you grew up and your beginnings, like the early beginnings, your first memories type shit.
Well, everybody knows I'm from East Boston. So growing up, before I even knew I was from East Boston, I used to live in New York. I just have memories of being really young and, you know, my people's getting high off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are my earliest memories is like, you know, getting up. I used to live on Shirley Ave in Revere too, before like in between the transition of coming back to Eastie in New York, because I was always bouncing back and forth. But living in Revere, I remember like, yeah, it's crazy even talking about this, but getting up like in the middle of the night and seeing strange people around, my mom, my dad, everybody acting all weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mom's mouth moving all, you know, like she's high.
Yeah.
But now I know what's going on. But the smell, like the burning. You know, I was born in '89. I'm from the crack era. I'm a crack baby. Like, my people's in. My mom ain't no, you know.
Right. I didn't mean to laugh at that
crack.
either, bro. I was just like,
No,
I know the reality.
Yeah, like, it's like you can only if you laugh and you relate, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like it's real, bro. And
let me ask you a question about Revere itself. So you said
I lived in Revere. I lived on Shirley Ave.
Shirley Ave, right?
Yeah.
So explain for people that never been to Shirley Ave. What is Shirley Ave and why is
Cambodia?
Okay.
Literally, like, yo, bro. I remember Shirley Ave. There was this movie, bro. It was about a fire. I forget the name of it, but it was about a fire department. My peoples made me watch it because the kids in my neighborhood was lighting fires.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be like them. So I lit up my bathroom, my toilet paper, and my mom was like, "I'm gonna tell your dad." And she told me it's like before my dad went to prison. So he beat my ass, bro. I never lit a fire again, and they made my ass sit down and watch the movie. No bullshit.
Yo, did you use the hairspray?
Yeah, that's what I did. I did first I lit it, and it wasn't really. I'm like, let me see this shit. So I grabbed the hairspray, and I was like, and the whole shit was.
Yo.
In the bathroom, and I was like, oh, I got nervous, right? So I'm like, oh shit. And then my mom was like, what the hell you doing? And she came in and she first she kind of whipped my ass a little bit, but she's like, I'm telling you that. I was like, oh shit. Then he whipped my ass, yo, and they made me sit down and watch that shit in front of the TV.
Yeah. Yo, you know what's funny is I did the same exact shit, bro.
Yeah.
And it was like on the floor of my bathroom was like that fake plastic tile, and you could see like the little outline of the burn.
Yeah. So he was in there doing a seance.
Yeah, bro, like lighting shit on fire, like look at the fire, like. So you were a little hellion, basically.
Yeah,
you know?
hell yeah. Straight fucking devil child.
How long did you live in Revere for?
A couple of years. We lived in Chelsea. I lived in Chelsea. I lived in Revere. I lived in Salisbury. I lived in mostly East Boston, New York.
Where's the place you spend almost the majority of your life?
East Boston. Well, prison.
Prison.
Yeah.
Other than prison.
Other than prison, but East Boston.
Right. East Boston, right? Maverick Projects, from what I know.
Yeah, Maverick. Yeah.
Okay, so
and the crazy thing, I lived in the projects when I was real little, when I was a baby, but I always chilled out. Like, that's my hood, you know what I'm saying? But I never, I'm not like the day one that been still living in the hood and still lives in the hood.
Yeah.
But I still be in the hood because I live in East Boston. But Maverick's just a little section in East Boston, but I'm from Eastie. Like, I'm an Eastie kid.
Where?
All over Eastie. Anyway.
Growing up, did you have a mother and a father, both?
Yes, at first, until I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
And my dad he went to prison, he did a 20-piece.
Damn.
I was actually in prison with him, but not in the same camp.
Damn.
Yeah.
So how old were you when he actually went?
I was just turning 7 when he went in. He got out 2015, and then I got out 2021, and then I actually finally got reunited with him. I hadn't seen him before that since '99.
Damn.
In a visiting room in Bridgewater.
Wow, yo, Bridgewater.
SCCC, the old one, not the old one that they shut down. Remember?
Wow.
SCCC.
Yeah,
that's not OCCC. SCCC.
So I have a few good questions based on that right there, just because you were visiting the prison as a little kid.
Yeah, as a kid. Yeah, visiting a Connecticut prison too, because my uncle was in Connecticut, locked up.
Wow.
Man.
So did you lose your father to prison, or did you lose him altogether now?
I lost my dad to drugs. I wouldn't say prison because my dad was smoking crack.
Okay.
And the reason why he went to prison, you can actually look it up. His name's Mark Brown Sr., just like me.
Okay.
He caught his case in '96 on Falcon Street, at 30 Falcon Street, East Boston. It's so crazy because my brothers ended up moving in there. It's crazy. That's a whole nother story. But,
small world.
Right. So he some lady owed him money. There's actually a book written about it by one of the victim's son, who's kind of like my family.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's like those problems when black and white families mix. Because then I'm a product of it, right?
Yeah.
But no, seriously, right? So my dad, some lady owed him some money. He went there. He's like, yo, I want my bread. They were getting high.
Yeah.
She didn't have it. Start arguing in the hallway. Long story short, according to him, according to the report, and according to them, it's 3 different stories.
Yeah.
But, it's only the truth.
Always.
The truth is the one story. So the story I believe is, the facts of what's the case?
Yeah.
The facts of the case, what happened, So he went there, whatever, they started beefing. And long story short, allegedly he beat her up with a tire iron.
Damn.
But from what he told me was that her brother came out when he asked, when he knocked on the door and was like, hey, it's such and such here, does she have my money? I'm not keep the names out.
Right.
The brother swung on him with a tire iron, missed. He grabbed it from him, threw it down, grabbed her, because she tried to assault him and used her as a shield. And the brother was hitting her with a tire iron. That's what he told me. But according to their story is he beat her up, and then eventually it forced him into the house, and now they charge him. That's home invasion right there.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yep. Kidnapping.
All that shit. So, and then the police called, I was listening to the 911 terror tapes because I started studying law in prison. So I was like, let me study my dad's case.
Right.
I was listening to some of the CDs and looking at some of the paperwork. And one of the 911 calls says, this is 96, so you got to remember, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
A black guy jumping through the window. All units responded. So once you say that in fucking 1996, it don't matter what you're talking about. That black motherfucker's going to jail.
Yo, word. This black guy's
going to jail. So he went to jail, and nobody had ever seen him again for 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then fucking about 2010, he had 5 years left. I came in. No, 29. He had 6 years left. 09. So 2009, I came in, and then I did my 13 years, and then I got with him 2021, 22.
Damn.
I was going to beat him up when I said
that would have been fucking bad.
I was going to beat him up, but my cousin, I called my cousin. It was weird. Right before I was about to see him, my cousin from New York calls me because my dad's from New York.
Yeah.
He's like, don't do it. And I was like, what the fuck? He just knew. I was like, what do you mean? I'm whooping his ass. He might tell on you.
Right.
He might tell. He's like, ain't you out on parole? I'm like, yeah, all right. You got that. Because I was out on the RTS. You know what I mean?
Right. So,
but I didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Growing up with your father, right? Before you ever have any memories of him?
Yeah, not nothing really. But some shit dope, but some shit not really.
Was he like
nothing
a
really
thoroughbred?
good. He used to live on he lived in East Boston too. And when him and my mom got divorced, they got divorced before I went to before he went to prison.
Mm.
And fucking up. He had like a girlfriend and like I used to go over his house when I was younger, like 5, 6 years old. But I always remember like he used to let me and my sister swear.
Yeah.
And we couldn't swear at my mom's house. So like, but I just remember always like he was like he always used to let us swear, and he used to always like make us watch movies like Boys in the Hood, like Society and shit. Like,
So he's like a cool father.
Yeah,
He's
he was
a
cool.
parent.
Yeah, like what's that shit? South Central. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
don't drink juice in South
yeah,
Central or something like
well,
that.
you
Yeah.
drinking your juice in the hood, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But he used to make us watch like a lot of like
Hood movies.
yeah,
and
like
shit.
Rodney King type shit.
That was your father. What's your mother like?
Straight Italian, straight Ginzo.
Okay.
Fucking big nose. She's like my mom's. That's my life. I just see my mom yesterday. Shout out to my mom. She's just the best. Like she's the only person that never gave up on me, man.
Word.
It was like I don't even. I hate to like my mom's such a loyal person, right? That's where I get my loyalty from. I get that shit from my mom because my mom said she's like, son, if your dad didn't fucking abuse me and he beat her up, you know what I'm saying? Like he was abusive.
Yeah.
If he wasn't like that to me and he went and we were still married and he went and did 20 years, she's like, I would have waited for him.
Wow.
And never been with nobody. My mom ain't never been with nobody. She got a man now.
Mm.
She been with for like 10 years, but that's like way later on in life.
Right.
She hadn't been with nobody all that time, basically. You know what I mean?
When you were a child, like the values that you kind of learned, as a combination from both your parents.
I learned from my mom, dude.
You learned most of your values from your mom.
Yeah, I don't learn shit from my dad. I learned from my dad that because he's real discouraging. And he keeps hitting me up like he'd be like, you gotta stop rapping, man. You're getting a little too old. And I'm like, what? I'm like, give me a diss. I'm like, you're just discouraged. I'm like, bang, he don't even got my new number. You know what I mean? Like his 60th birthday passed. Like, yeah, come down. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. He keeps being discouraging to my artist. You know what I mean? But he's like, how can I say, like, he's like the type of dude where he got out of prison, right? And the girl that was holding him down his last year died his 4th day out.
What?
Right. Like, that's like the type of energy. He just got a fucking dark energy with him.
Let me ask you a bad question.
Dude,
the day he killed himself?
Right, I don't know what happened. The day he got out,
Yeah.
the victim in his case died. The day he got out. And then 4 days later, his girlfriend died.
Damn. He's got a black cloud.
Now he got a girlfriend and a wife, and they're just not like if they looked good, cool, but they're just like, come on, bro. I can't,
Damn,
They showing up to the visit on me. I love him. God bless him. Gene and Tracy, God bless them. Shout out to them. But come on, brother, you promoting this polygamy in front of my kids, nigga. You need to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you got me dying over here, kid. So
my daughter's asking me, she's like, Dad, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, just don't pay attention to that shit.
it's not normal.
Yeah, that shit is not normal. Girlfriend and wife, they agree on it. They're like, yeah, this is where we sleep. I'm like, no.
Oh, your dad's a G, bro.
That's what everyone says, but when you see him, bro, it's like, he tricked them, man. He tricked them out they spot.
So what age were you when you first started getting in trouble?
I was about 11 years old. Umana Barnes, middle school. The summer before I was about to go. See, when I was in 5th grade, transitioning into 6th grade, where I was like Hellraiser, like in the streets, off the porch, on the bullshit, lost my virginity, like right, all that stuff just boom.
Bring up any names, but serious people. And if you're a stand-up man, then you can go further in life. God bless everybody. Don't be a rat.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm the oldest out of my brothers and sisters, so like I go through it so they don't have to go through it after me. Like the best way to put it. So like I was always like the test for everything. So that's why my brothers, shout out to them because they never been in trouble. In this, yeah, they never, because I used to be the one.
So
I seen your brother in the projects. Yeah, I seen your brother. I'm like, what? Run down on him.
See how the gangway is. This spot right here means a lot to us too. Like we would go from here to there, and then back. Before this whole new. This is where we used to get away from the police. I lost 6 friends last year to ODs, bro, in East Boston. Man, these kids nowadays, man, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's no respect.
Whoop his ass. You ain't supposed to be like I'll go kick niggas out.
Word.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I was the big helicopter brother.
And how many other brothers did you have? I know you might have said it, but
I got 2. I got me and my sister are Irish twins.
Yep.
Shout out to my sister Missy, and my brother X and Matt. They're about a year and a half apart, but they're like 6 years younger than me.
Okay.
My middle brother just turned 30. I'm 36, by the way.
So you're big bro.
I'm big bro, yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of unk status now.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, shit.
I'm unk
Get to that
status
age,
according
right?
to the YNs.
Hey, so you reach a certain age, bro. You got to collect on that. But
You gotta give certain shit up.
your big brother, that adds a whole new dynamic. I feel like the big brother's always got the edge to him. You know what I mean? Like I had to look out for my little brother. You know what I mean? You got that protective instinct and shit.
Oh, you're the big bro?
Yeah.
Shit, I thought
He's my twin.
Yeah, I thought Ryan was the big bro.
I'm 1 minute older than him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
we
makes
both
sense.
came out at the same time, like C-section, bloop, bloop.
But it's funny because Ryan's bigger, bro. Ryan's
Yeah.
more like. They always say the little brothers get bigger. Like my
Yeah.
little brother's way wider than me,
Yeah,
my youngest
he's-
brother. Like
Ryan's shredded.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan was always a big dude. Shout out to Ryan, bro.
Hell yeah,
Shout
bro.
out to Ryan Tonhan, that's my
I
boy.
love you, bro. You get in trouble at 11 years old.
Yep.
You end up going to DYS. You end up like what?
Not right away. So my first case I ever caught, it's funny, I wrote about this in my book, was me and my girlfriend, we were right by the Umana Barnes Middle School off of Border Street,
Yep.
like by the old Payless on Meridian, between Border and Meridian. And we were in like this little like abandoned lot that all the kids playing after school. Like we're there every day.
Yep.
And we're doing our everyday thing. So I got her like on my shoulders. I'm spinning around. I'm playing with my girl, but it's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like I feel someone like punch me in the back of the head. And at first I don't know it's a cop. So I just turn around and start wailing off. And me
Yeah.
and this dude start fighting. And I realize it's a cop. And he hemmed me up. And ever since there, bro, I've been like literally in trouble, bro. That's literally how I started getting in trouble.
And
And it was the weirdest thing. Like I was really not doing shit wrong.
right. So you didn't have any interaction with drugs, anything.
I mean,
before
like in my family, yeah, like there's mental health shit, drugs in the household and shit. But I was like, before it was DCF, it was DSS. I have been in, certain little situations before I went, like before my dad, my mom was in a battered women's program, like a lot of shit.
Let's kind of talk about that
Yeah.
because that's part of your childhood and shit. And
Yeah, I don't remember it, but I know I had been like for like a weekend. I had got like taken away from home because of drug use and domestic violence abuse and shit.
Okay.
Like that. My dad and my mom never abused me or nothing like that.
Right.
I mean,
So now you're getting in trouble, kind of. But you're not using drugs.
no, not yet.
You selling drugs.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And how old are you? You're 11.
Yeah, I started selling weed.
Okay.
I used to get the halfies for $50. Shout out to Ho Ho. R.I.P. my man Ho Ho. Shout out to him. He used to have the garbage, the trash backyard boogie for $50. Nice big halfie for you. You heard? Before this shit was legal. You know what I mean?
That shit used to be so bad. Give you a big ass headache.
The Reggie.
Yeah, dude.
Now back then we thought we was lit.
We called it swag. So you was hustling a little bit of weed and shit. You ever pick up a pistol, you start fucking with a certain crew of dudes or something?
Yeah, later on, a little later on after that, I started like what we started doing. We was getting hot boxes, like stealing cars, and we would shave down like the master keys and shit, and go and steal them. Like when I was like 11, 12. There's my man. Shout out my man Camry, from my hood. He was one of the dudes that like taught us how to shave them down and like. You know what I mean? And like we would have master keys to like Thunderbirds, Hondas, Toyotas, and we would just go boom. We don't even got to pop the ignition. Just go boom, put it in, start up. Oh, I don't even know how to drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I still suck at driving.
Yo, it's that prison, bro. It's like you don't drive like most of your life and you get out. I still don't have a car, man. I don't even.
Me neither. I don't got a car.
I'm afraid.
I got a license but no car.
You're messing around. Do you go to school?
Oh yeah, I was in school. That's one thing about me. I always was in school, yo.
Word.
Always, yeah.
Were you a
Always.
good student?
Yeah, hell yeah. Straight A's and B's, bro.
What was school like for you?
School was gangbang, man. Like Umana Barnes Middle School was gangland, gang city. It was like San Andreas. And it was like the MS is over here, the 18th Street's over there, the Bloods, the Crips, the dudes from Boston. Then you got the Projects dudes from East Boston that at the time no one takes serious until we got to turn up. You know what I mean?
I didn't recognize it. I mean, look what you have from East Boston. I mean, Nicky Verano, started out at Victor's Variety. You know what I'm saying? He's, a restaurateur now. I mean, look at, you got even these young kids like,
You know what I mean? Like, we used to get downplayed a lot, and then that's why we had to go a little harder,
Right.
with the gang shit.
And where is the Imana Barnes?
The Umana Barnes is on Border Street in East Boston.
Okay. So it's in your home city.
Yep. I go by there every day.
And is there they send kids from out of that city?
Yeah, it's a Boston public school. There's a lot of dudes from like Dorchester, Roxbury.
Wow.
Like a lot of people that go there ain't from East Boston.
It reminds me of a DYS almost.
It is, exactly. It's an institution. It was before DY was DY. Like, I went from Umana to DYS.
It's so crazy how us in this area, we grew up in these situations where even on the streets, like we had that mind state of like being a gangster almost like, or being almost like a little convict in school.
Tony Montana.
Yeah, bro. Like,
We had that paid in full mind state.
yeah. And that's how everybody in your school felt like, pretty much?
I felt like they thought they was from El Salvador. Like at that time, bro, like it was a lot of like dudes coming from over the border, and it was like 18th Street MS, and they was beefing, and like the MS dudes. It was really everyone had beef with MS.
Wow.
Because they were like Skinners and shit.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we was never. I was always against Skinners and Rats forever. Like my mother told me don't. My mother taught me that.
Fact.
You know what I mean, you don't tattletale. You don't. If somebody don't want to be touched, son, you don't touch them.
Right.
It's just what it is.
It's ingrained within.
Right. So that's always been something, even before I've been in prison, even before all that. And them dudes, we didn't like them because, first of all, you're 40-year-old men.
Word.
You're running around with 15-year-old girls that you're in, like legit, and then it's like you're beefing with 12-year-old kids.
What?
And then it's like you're in like you're from a whole nother country.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yo, I'm starting to think Trump might got the right idea, dude.
Yo, right. Shout out to Trump, man.
Yo, damn.
Word.
So you're seeing all this shit go on, like, in these MS-13 dudes. Is it real that these dudes really gotta rape somebody to get into the crew?
That's like part of, or like you gotta like train a girl out or some weird shit.
Really, bro?
Yeah, I know the girls gotta get like trained out.
But that's gotta be common knowledge in your school then.
Right, so that's why like it was at first like people didn't even see the uprising at first because the Bloods was beefing with them and there was always Bloods around.
Right.
So like back in the day when I used to chill on Meridian and Lexington Street, I used to be chilling with the Bloods, like, you know, certain Bloods. I ain't gonna say no names, but they know who they are, like Asians, and they was mostly from like Shirley Ave. They came down and, you know, whatever, but they would beef with the MS, so nobody really paid attention because the Bloods was so like hard, like they were mean.
They are.
They
even
were
in
like,
prison.
They were the toughest gang coming out of East Boston was the Bloods. But the reason why everybody kind of like not had the Bloods back, but like more or less went at MS because first of all they're foreigners, second of all they don't speak English, and third of all they're hurting little kids and girls. Like they're not like the shit you're doing ain't what we do in America.
Word, bro.
We don't do that.
Yeah,
you don't hurt innocents. Even with like terrorism, like I don't respect a motherfucker coming and bombing
me neither.
Some innocent. Go on a fucking federal building or a police station and bomb that shit. Don't bomb some little kid. Like,
word, bro.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
It makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, bro. I don't like that shit.
Word.
We're in America, bro, and people got to start remembering that we Americans, bro.
Word, bro. Good point. I like that we even brought that up in my podcast.
Straight up.
Let me ask you about how you deal with these Bloods and with these other gangs. You're like, are you solo?
Yeah, I was just from Maverick. I just always been from around the way, like just a kid from Eastie. You know what I'm saying? I never was involved in gangs, but I always got mistaken for different gangs. I even have gotten into some different fights and issues over time, and it made me hate gangs, bro.
Right.
And then it's weird because then I end up being a ended up being a gang member later on in life. But it was like Tookie Williams. Like I read the Tookie Williams book, right? The Blue Rage Black Redemption. He said when they asked him, what do you want to do when he get older? When he was in an institution, he said he felt like some hypnosis or ventriloquist took over him when he said, "I'm gonna be the biggest gang leader in the world," and that's what he did.
It's like a demon.
But he was just like me. He grew up hating fucking gangs. I always hated gangs. I thought gangs were stupid. I always moved by myself, solo. I didn't really feel like I needed to bust a pistol if I could whoop your ass, or even if I could take a fucking beating.
Right.
Hey, even if I got it on me, here you go, hold that. I just want to fade.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm still like that to this day. So being a gang member, I say, yo, if I'm gonna get down with this gang, I'm gonna run this shit. I'm gonna be top dog because I'm not gonna work for nobody. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna run it right. I'll make sure we get money, bro. Like and make sure we do the right shit and not be a bunch of fiends. And you know what I mean? Like
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. When I went back on my 12 piece, I was like, yo, if this is gonna be my life, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be the baddest motherfucker.
Right.
You're
gonna be that motherfucker they talk about.
Yeah.
That's why they talking about us.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they still talk.
Straight up.
Word, because you get it in your head and it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But at your stage in your life, the reason why this is so important is because it explains how you are raised around these gangs, what your mindset is and how you're built, and then the way you are as an adult and what you do going into prison. It really links exactly to it. It's like it never stops. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're living one long,
It never stops.
Bro, let's break it down, bro. So like you are in this school. You're fucking with, you're surrounded by gangs.
Yeah.
Just the same as in prison, right?
But I'm only influenced by like my hood,
Right?
The kids that I know and grew up with.
But you have to learn fear and respect for the people that can kill you. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So-
Even the police.
And the police,
Right.
right? And so, are the police a menace in your neighborhood at that
Hell
point?
yeah, bro. Bro, I'd have probably been in Harvard Law School right now, bro. Or playing football if it wasn't for the police in my hood, bro.
And so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What is the police like in your neighborhood, and what did you deal with them growing up?
I just always dealt with, like, my mom always dealt with police coming to her door. And I think it was, like, I hate to say it, but I think it was because of the color of my skin, bro. Like, because growing up around my way, there's not that many black families in East Boston. Like,
Yeah.
there is, but there ain't. Like, not like I'm really known out there because I'm one of those black families. You know what I'm saying? So growing up at that era, I was a little naive to it because I never seen color in my home because my mom's white. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, if you look at it, like, it's like genetics. It's like the first woman that I ever loved in my life is a white woman with blue eyes, black hair, Italian, big nose. If you look at all my baby moms, it's the same thing. Black hair, white, olive skin, blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word.
And
We're
that's
attracted to our
that's
mom.
what you start to be attracted to, and that's what starts to feel normal. So throughout the years, it's like, even growing up in Maverick, like back in the day, my grandmother and them, dude, there was race wars going on in the hood. Like literally, like when busing was going on and all that shit, East Boston was a part of that.
Yeah.
Not as much as like Southie and Charlestown was known for, but Eastie was just right there because,
All of Boston.
we got the brownie townies too. I'm one of them. So when it's like people you come from more like my side of town, it's more white.
When I was a kid, we could take a walk any place you want here by yourself, and it would never be a problem. I wouldn't walk outside here alone anymore because of all the stabbings and everything else here. I knew a lot of the mafia guys and everything else here, and they protect you.
You know what I mean? It's
Right.
real gentrified now, but then it turned into Mexico.
It was Italian.
It was Italian, but it was like, there was Irish and other, but it was mostly like, it was predominantly people with olive skin. Like, fair skinned people.
Yeah. And so I kind of want to ask about that a little bit. So what was it like growing up around? Was there mobsters? Mafia,
hell
shit
yeah.
like that?
Hell yeah.
Did you ever bump heads with them?
Yeah, I mean, later on in life, yeah. When I was younger, there was this dude named Anthony. He's dead now, R.I.P. him.
Yep.
But I learned what the mob was because of Anthony.
Okay.
And anybody who knows this guy, he used to sit on his porch on Lexington Street, and he used to tell stories about all the gangs before the Bloods and the Crips and all that. When the gangs in East Boston was the Lexington Pirates, the Meridian Street, these ones, the Maverick, these ones, the Orange. Everyone had their own hat and their own thing. It was your block.
Yeah.
It wasn't your. That's how Boston is. Period. If you from Boston, it's your block, your hood hat, and your block. Like a lot of these colors and stuff came from the West Coast and Chicago and. And influenced us. And even
Right.
New York. That's not how Boston ever was. It's still kind of not respected in some hoods, like in Dorchester, Roxbury. A lot of that shit ain't really respected.
Word.
Because that's not what it is. But Anthony taught me a valuable lesson about respect. Because every day for like, I don't know, probably a month we were fucking with this dude. He lived right up the block from us. And then one day this dude named Q, black dude, he was a BGF, old school BGF dude. Just like up top, like the real, like, I'm not saying them dudes ain't real, shout out to them dudes, but this dude was like, before I ever heard of it, he was like one of them dudes. And he was like, yo, he pulled us over. It was me, my other man's he's from Dorchester, and this other kid, R.I.P. Uno, he's from around the way. And it was us three. We was fucking with this dude. Like, we would throw water balloons. We would just fuck with him.
Yeah.
'Cause he's always talking shit. Like, we're kids. We don't know. We're like, whatever. You can't catch us. So we dip off. We're like probably mad young. And then dude Q pulls up and he's like, yo, you know who the fuck that is? Because we know Q.
Yeah.
And he sat us down. We gave us some weed. He's like, yo, listen, bro. He's like, yo, don't be messing with that dude. That dude will get you whacked.
Really?
And I didn't know what that meant. And then we just, ever since then, we was cool with Anthony. We used to chill on his porch and we used to just listen to him tell old school mob, just war stories all day, bro.
You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
It's like YouTube before YouTube. That's
Right.
content.
Yeah.
That's original content.
Yes.
Yo.
Dude, if I wish he was still alive, I would bring him up here, bros. This dude has stories about, and he's not lying. He's not lying about the shit he's talking about. This dude was just, he's the type of dude that seen so much shit that he just wants to chill with his grandkids and like be like a crossing guard. Like there'd be little kids about to cross the street. He'd be like, "Hold on, honey, wait."
Right.
And then he'll look at all the cars. All right, go ahead, cross. And then, all right, good girl. Like, you know what I mean? He was like a neighborhood hero. And I wanted to be like that, bro.
No more pain, right?
I wanted to be just like Anthony, bro. Shout out to him, man.
Bro.
Because I feel like when I get a little older, when I'm like in my 50s and shit and 60s and I'm old, I want to be like I want to be respected like that.
Fact, bro.
You know what I
Fact.
mean?
Yeah, looked up to. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And make it through it.
Hell yeah.
Because that means you made it through. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fact. Old man dying free, bro. That's what I want to be.
Word up.
So check it out. You're living that life out in East Boston. Let's get into your teenage years, right? Okay. What's the first thing you remember? Just
12. I can remember when I turned 12. I moved from Maverick, well not Maverick, but closer to Maverick to Orient Heights. When I turned about 12 years old, and I've been living on the same street since. I still live there today. Yeah. I remember like rolling a blunt. Like I started smoking weed. And I remember like rolling my first blunt like by myself without like, yo, I rolled this by myself and smoking it for my birthday. And I had like, I realized like I got grown. Like my friends that were with me, I outgrown them. Like we used to do like sleepovers and like little dumb kid shit. Yeah. And then I realized like I stopped doing that after that. Yeah. After I rolled my first blunt and I was with, and they were like, oh, no, smoking like. I don't want to smell people spraying, doing Visine and eating gum, and I'm just like, dude, I'm out to smoke this blunt. I'm going to sleep.
It's like you're becoming a man,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
it's like my nuts drop.
So after you become this man, bro, right? The man you think you are. You know, you're rolling your own blunts and shit. What are you doing in life past that? Like, are you starting to fuck with like drugs? Are you starting to fuck with, you know what I mean? What are you doing?
Probably like a few months later, I caught another case, and I was on a bracelet, the JRC, in downtown. It was before they changed Superior Court. It was in the old Superior Court building on the 17th floor. If anybody knows the JRC, they know what I'm talking about.
What's the JRC stand for?
Juvenile Resource Center.
Okay, yeah.
But they had anybody there is on level 4, like bracelet, fucking.
We called it the DRC.
No, the DRC was later on. That was before I got committed.
Oh.
The JRC is before you get committed.
Oh, okay.
But hopefully you don't get committed. It's like a scare straight to into commitment. A lot of dudes that are doing life right now are dead were actually there with me.
Damn.
And I just remember getting locked up, like failing drug tests. I was on probation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And you're seeing all these people that you see on later in life that are now in, you know, bad, either dead, like you said, or in prison, right? And it's kind of like
they're not doing this.
Nah, man, this is what's up, right? That's not what's up, right?
Not,
What ends up happening from there, man? Like, do you remember your teenage
I got
years?
committed. I was about like probably like my birthday's January. It was probably March. I was 13. It was March. I got committed. Boom. About 2004, 3. 2002, 3, some shit.
Where do you go first?
I went to Harvard Street.
What's that place like?
It's like South Bay, like a mini South Bay. It's like South Bay with one tier. If you ever been in South Bay, it's like the baby bay.
Yeah.
It's like the best way to describe it. But there's no bathrooms in the cell. It's like the 4-building. It's like if the bay had one tier and a flat, exactly how the setup is in the bay is that. The soft chairs, the TV, the hard chairs, the cells all around, the desk.
So it was like a county jail for kids, right?
Legit.
So
it was a war zone, though. It was like a lot of dudes from like Columbia Point, Lynn, the Deuce Boys.
The Deuce Boys, bro.
Deuce soldiers, I don't know. They all became Bloods, I heard.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But the Deuce Boys, Magnolia, the Point, the Bloods from Eastie had a heavy influence, and then like in a couple stragglers. I was like one of the stragglers who I wasn't a gang member, but I was from my block, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and it was like when I first went in there in 2001, I believe, we opened up the building, like we was like there's 15 cells with 2 people in each cell. But there was only like 6 dudes on the unit because at that time, not a lot of kids, like they just opened the building, not a lot of kids was getting in trouble, and they wasn't just rounding us up in the street and making their new modern day slave ship the way they wanted it, like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Before people started learning the law and shit. You know what I mean? So like that's what I was going through. Now at the time I didn't know that I was completely ignorant to it. You know what I mean?
Were you fighting in there and shit? Like,
hell
what was
yeah.
it like? Did you deal with abuse from the CO or from the staff members?
Yeah,
and shit?
in MAU, I was fighting with staffs. There was this place called Mentor. in Somerville Transitions, if y'all ever heard of it. But I caught a case there, and I got my stay and time extended. So I turned like a fucking bullshit 90 to 120
Right.
into like 2 years.
I've done it.
But it was only like 8 months, and then it turned into 8 months, and then right before I go home, I fucking punched out this fucking the director of whatever program, and then fucking I set myself back another year. Then they sent me to this place called Alliance House, and they want you to like tuck your shirt in and flip your. As soon as I got there, got it shaking with the staff. Got out of there, back to secure. Take me to secure. Then they sent me to forestry boot camp. I was there. I completed that. I got out, and then I was out for like 6 days. Went back for like 2 years. You know what I mean? Like just my whole life locked up, bro.
Forestry in Brewster.
Yeah, Brewster.
Yeah.
Cape.
I ran from Project.
It was
Leap.
right next to Cape's. Oh, Leap's right next to it. Cape's Detention. Shout out to Cape's Detention. They get it shaken over there.
You know why they built that place?
My man Ricky. There's this kid Ricky from the Cape. I don't know if you watching this, Ricky, but shout out to you. You know who he is.
Where?
My man Ricky.
You know they built that place because of me. They built that place because I ran from Project Leap, and they were looking for places to house detention, like for people that weren't making it in the program.
Yeah, that's the secure.
Yeah,
they used to get shaking over there. Cause inside Code Red, Cape Detentions, Code Red. I used to be like, yo, what the fuck's going on over here? So I ended up completing that, and then going back, and then just literally in and out, and then.
Can I ask you a question about why you were like that though? So you went in there, you was fighting the staff members, you was fighting other dudes. And shit.
I was just really like. I was just very defiant and oppositional towards authoritative figures.
Right.
Like, I'm not into nobody, even to this day, like, I don't want to call it like a man thing or a boss thing or an egocentric thing, but I'm just not into anybody telling me what to do. You can politely request me to do something, and I'm like a gentleman, I would either deny or, confirm your request, but other than that, you're not about to tell me nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to do this right now. No, who says who? God? I'm not doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. And so how long do you end up doing in that place, and then what happens when you get out?
I didn't really, I went in at 12, bro. I didn't really get out until I was like 18. But I was just in and out. I spent probably like a whole 40-something days on the street altogether.
Similar.
The whole incarceration in DYS till the time I was about 18. And then when I turned 17... I caught my first adult case. Then I had to sit. So even though I'm getting a personal recognizance at adult court, DYS is detaining me.
Yep.
And I'm still sitting locked up with a bunch of kids and like, hey, you was in Salt Bay. Hey, you was in Nash. And I'm just like, dude.
Damn.
Like, yo, niggas are big as shit out there. I'm like, that's what y'all worried about? Like, y'all worried about the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I seen it from all angles as being young and seeing it being older and seeing it being middle-aged now and seeing it, and it's the same people, the same shit. We're almost numb to it.
Right. What did it feel like going in there after visiting in there and like seeing your father in there and shit? Did you kind of look at yourself like you were a failure?
I remember the Norfolk, fast forward when I was upstate, I remember the Norfolk visiting room from going to see him and then actually being there and visiting my daughter in that same visiting room.
Yeah.
So that kind of fucked me up.
Yeah.
Because she's 11 years old. She's the same age I was when I see him. It's just crazy, bro. Damn. The way the numbers in the universe is, things like that happen for a reason. But I learned from it. And shout out to my daughter because me and her got a really close relationship ever since that. Because, and I know she really loves me because she wouldn't go to no jail to see nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Her anxiety wouldn't let her. So for her to come and see me meant a lot. That meant that she was willing to put all her stresses aside to see me for an hour.
That's pretty dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What happens for you to end up going upstate in the first place? What's that adult charge, that first adult case?
On my indictment?
Yeah.
That was my first indictment ever. It was a home invasion, kidnapping, everything except murder. Basically all the bad shit except murder. I got caught up in the organized crime ring.
Did you?
I didn't say no names, but you could Google it. My shout out to my code D, yes. You know what I'm saying? We got caught up with some dudes that they saying was made, but I don't know. I don't know if that mom shit really exists, but one of the dudes, Rossetti, that was involved in my case. I don't know if he's free or what, but he was like the main target of the investigation, which is crazy because I got locked up before him and then got out after him, so.
Rossetti controlled what was left of the rackets in East Boston and the North Shore after the war in the 1990s. Organized crime wasn't what it used to be in EC, but the state police alleged that Rossetti controlled a sizable operation which included the usual mob rackets of bookmaking, loan sharking.
Right.
When you're solid, that's what happens.
Yeah,
you know what
bro.
I mean? So when they're like, I remember I was in an interview the other day. Some dudes asked me, "Yo, so like, yo, you know, a lot of dudes would rat, and like, yo, what made you stand tall and not rat?" I'm like, if you even think about ratting, you're a rat. If I was never an officer, they never even came and they knew not to come to ask me shit because I don't know shit anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't even know these motherfuckers anyway.
Right.
So there's nothing I know to tell you regardless. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right,
it's
right.
like, the fuck you mean? Like people are getting praised for not ratting. Like,
Right.
that's
right.
not never an option.
You don't get credit for doing what you're supposed to do.
Thank you. If you even think about telling, you a rat.
Mm.
If you ever thought about telling, if you watching this and you ever thought about telling your life, you a rat.
Fact.
It's a fact. You a rat.
Yo,
There's things you do, there's things you don't do, and then there's things you don't even fucking think about doing, and that's one of those.
Word,
straight
bro.
up. He asked me, like, this is my man, shout out to him. He asked me at the, we was at the red carpet at my event the other night on Saturday. Shout out to Lowell. I got my merch store out there.
Yeah.
He's like, he did like a little rundown interview. He's like, yo, can I interview? When he ever said that, I'm like, that was never an option. Like, they never asked nothing. First of all, I didn't know, and it's not something that ever crossed my mind to do.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what the fuck you signed up for. Even if you got jammed up in some shit that you didn't know you signed up for, you're still supposed to stand tall, no matter what. And I took that on the chin. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
That's what it is.
Yo,
you know?
so I know you didn't want to get into the people you was fucking with, right? But I feel like
What, the bros?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
So-
talk about it a little bit. I'm not with that shit no more. Bro.
Right. Where were you and what age were you when you started messing with the gang?
I was 17 years old.
17. What happened? What like
My good friend of mine, well, there's a whole story with that too, but there was this brother that I used to work with from Everett. He's dead now. R.I.P. him. He was a bro.
Yep.
And he kind of took me under the wing, gave me a job, put some money in my pocket. We started slinging shit together, whatever, and just started, he's like my big bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 28. I was about just turning 18, and when I turned 18, he ended up dying like a few weeks later. But before we get to that, he was a bro, and he was like kind of putting me under like observation.
Yep.
And like, but I never really pursued it. You know what I mean? I just never really like, I was around it, but I was always around that certain group of individuals, but I never like, I always thought like, I'm black, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I thought like, what are y'all, the Spanish Bloods?
Yeah, right.
So I never knew really what any of that was about until I read this book called Once a King, Always a King. And there's a part 2, it's called My Bloody Life. And after I read that, I understood what the nation was about and the kings and all that shit or whatever. And the fucking...
What kind of perspective did it give you, though, that made you make a decision, though? That's what I want to know.
The knowledge and the literature behind it.
Okay.
Thinking that this got to be the realest thing. Like, why haven't this is where all the real motherfuckers is at.
Yeah.
Till you find out that that's where all the fakest backstabbing motherfuckers is at. You heard? And it's fucked up to even say. Not everybody, because there's some people who still bros today that I fuck with and I salute. I'm not going to name, but y'all know who y'all are. You just it's just evil, bro.
Right.
It
So
just
you
brought
go
me back
into
to
it.
that demonic shit.
Yeah, bro.
That
So
evil
like,
shit.
yeah, you go into it thinking like on paper, this sounds like the best thing that's ever happened to anybody.
And you feel like a G. You feel like a straight up gangster, and you're like, you want to like be tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're full of testosterone, so you're like, oh, I got something that I stand for now. I got my brothers with me, and they all believe in the same thing, and they got my back, and da-da-da. Then you come to find out that they don't.
How long is it before you even start realizing that this isn't what it is? Like, what is it like?
Many years. It was, I started fucking with the nation like 2008, and I stopped fucking with it 2021. When I came home, I was like, yo, I'm straight.
What was it like at the beginning for you?
It was good in the beginning. The beginning, it was light. It was light illuminating. I've seen a lot of fuck shit, but me being how I am and being that strong individual, I weeded through it and really got my section right in that shit. And I felt like, bro would tell you, he was up there with us, like, we got it. They knew they know my name.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's because you stand on business, and like me being black and being a part of the Latin King Nation, you got to go harder. You got to go harder because there's not a lot of black dudes in that shit. Oh, there's more white dudes now, but at that time there wasn't. There wasn't a lot of black and white dudes. So like it don't, like, to some people that don't know me, it might look like a protection move or a fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't know that I've been fucking with it and that I didn't just get recruited in jail or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of dudes that had to really go hard. Like my bro Chaos, shout out to my bro Chaos. He was one of them dudes that went hard.
He's a white dude.
Yeah, he's a white dude. That's what I'm saying. Like,
good dude.
Basically, like, if you're not Spanish, especially in jail, it's like you got to prove yourself more because it's like more like a Hispanic like Latin orientated game.
It's cool because I'm now seeing the different dynamics that made you into who you are. So this is what I like, right? So you're with the Latin Kings, right? You already said it. So
at that time, yeah.
And you feel like it's giving you the status and reputation that you were seeking, like the respect. You know, you were seeking that. Everybody does in some way. I mean, whether we admit it or not, it's like, I don't know, man. You tell me, how does it make you feel? Like, what did you go, like, what was your mindset, like, as a gangster? Like, you were a gangster. What was your mindset as a gangster?
When I went to Walpole, I remember walking in there, it was like midnight. It's all dark, and then I'm with one of the bros. He came on the bus with me. Shout out to KC, the brother KC. I don't know if he's still alive, but he's a good brother. He was telling me about the old Walpole because he did a lot of time up there in DDU and shit before, like back when like 10 block was like you sit for 5 years in 10 block, like old school brother. And I remember walking by the chow hall, and it's late at night, nobody's in there, and like you don't know, like I just did 3.5 years in the county. I don't even know what I'm about to. I don't know what to expect. I'm just ready for all action.
Right.
And it tells me, it's like, yo, in the morning, suit up, make sure you got your sneakers on. I'm gonna make you a banger. You know, Walpole, bro. I'm like, all right. And I remember being disappointed, bro. I remember being disappointed, but I remember being not fucking compressed. I remember feeling like a lame. I didn't feel like a gangster at all because when I came out, and I say I felt like a lame too because there was nothing but fucking lame ass, bitch ass niggas around when I came out of that block in Walpole. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Word, what?
So I go, remember, like, you know how like they changed it from classification from Concord and shit? Like, Walpole was not tough when I was there. It was shit that went on.
Yeah.
But it wasn't tough.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? 10 block was still 10 block.
Yeah.
But the camp was fucking a bunch of bitch ass niggas that
was class.
Were letting fucking COs check their nuts. And I just wasn't the dude for that.
And that was your first impression of that?
Yes, bro. I was not impressed.
So you came a little later than when I came up.
So I came up 2013.
Yeah, so I was up 2008. I went up the max.
Yeah, I wasn't in the max then.
There was some solid dudes then.
I was in the county, but I went up state to the max 2013. But I went to classification 2013. But that wasn't even it because I was expecting to like, all right, I'm coming out in the morning. I'm gonna fucking look to my right and my left, stab whoever I need to stab, and just that's what the mentality. But that's how I was already thinking.
Right.
And then when I came out and I seen some dude that checked off from the county, some dude that took his bag, some dude that my man Keith punched in the face, took his sneakers. I'm like, a bunch of bitch ass niggas around here. I'm like, all right, well, let me go sign my little thing and go out. And then I went out to the movement, and I went to Chow and all that shit. And then I remember sitting down at the because I was active on my king shit heavy. I remember sitting down at the table, and one of the bros, like, because I'm black, they were like, yo, this is a Lion King table. And I was like, yeah, I'm a king, I'm Mez. And he was like, oh, shit, okay, brother. And I'm like, yeah, like, fuck up. Like, it's my table now. So I'm sitting there, whatever. And then, like, I remember, like, seeing a dude with, like, GD tattoos and shit walking around. I'm like, and I seen, like, another dude. Like, at this time, like, I'm in the county fighting with these dudes.
Yep.
Like, it was beef with the Cribs, all the opposition gangs to pretty much Bloods and Kings because that's all that was in my county. So it fucked me up to like go up there and like live with the beef. But at first I wasn't with that. I told them, I'm like, yo, I'm going to the GD table tomorrow at breakfast and I'm going to let them know who I am, how I feel. And if they want to be up out of here, we can all be up out of here.
Yeah.
And they were like, brother, you're just passing by. This is just a transition stop. This isn't, you're going to go to your next stop. This is class. We just don't do that. And I'm just like, that's what I'm going to go do. You guys don't have to be involved. But this is why I knew that these niggas were bitches. When I went to the fucking chow hall the next day for breakfast, no one was there at the table. So I'm like, okay, cool. I don't need my gang to have my back. I went, sat down. I was one of the dudes on my block, and I just told him, I was like, I don't have disrespectful tattoos. I don't want to see none of that shit. And I was like, yo, I don't got beef with y'all like that, but I was just in the county for 3.5 years smashing on your peoples. And I caught a case on one of your peoples. How you feel? Oh, brother, I'm just passing through. It ain't even like that. Then I'm like, all right, because it's big king shit over here. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I dipped out. But I just remember feeling like, now looking at that, I felt ignorant for acting tough. Because I could have got my head kicked in. There was like 6 of them at the table. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm not Superman. But that showed me, like, right there. And I wish I would have paid more attention because I'd have probably stopped gangbanging right there because I'm 23 years old. I'm up there by myself thinking I'm tough. And where's my gang? Where's this gang that I'm supposed to hold so
Right.
much loyalty to and privilege to and look up to and literally lay my life? I was one of the brothers I would literally take a bullet for another brother.
Word.
And that's how y'all moving. Like, that shit turned me off. Those are the same dudes that's gonna fuck your girl. Those are the same dudes that's gonna be fucking in your cell, stealing out your cell if you get lugged. Not every gang, but vast majority. Straight up, because I've seen it, bro.
I feel like once there's a position of power available, any one of those dudes will cut your fucking throat to get that fucking position.
Right.
It
Just
doesn't
like if there's
fucking
drugs
matter.
on the block.
Right. Exactly. Stepping on everybody's toes. There's gonna be broken toes everywhere, bro. You're messing with these dudes up there, and you're seeing basically like what you don't want to see.
Nah.
But you're still.
It wasn't like that in the county, though.
Yeah.
The county was tight knit.
What was the county like for you?
For the gang shit, that's why I kind of like, because when I went up there, I'm like, this ain't how we do it in my county, bro.
What county was that? Suffolk?
Yeah, South Bay, Nash.
South Bay, okay.
Yeah, so I sat South Bay 18 months and Nash like 3 years.
And it was super tough in there?
It was just like, we basically had like a thing with the Bloods where, like I said, it wasn't no GDs or Crips in my county at that time. Now it's different, now it's different, but at that time that wasn't, it was just if you king or you Blood, that's it.
Where?
And if a GD or Crip come through, and it's crazy because I'm mad cool with Crips and GDs to this day, like I fuck with them, but at that time, in like 2009, we would, if the beef come through, we send one Blood and we send one king, smash him, get him out of there, and that was it. And bro would tell you it was militant. So when I went upstate to Walpole, not the Max, when I went to Walpole, I was like, what the fuck is going on? But then when I got to the Max, I'm like, okay, this is where the this is where the Kings is. This is where the brothers is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you end up on the north side right away?
Yeah, so I went to Michael 1. That was because when I was in Walpole, I ended up finding out later that some little rat at my table got me STG and told him, and I didn't know that that's what was going on. Some little A1 pet that was, know who you are. So I know what you told them. And the Ebbs came and served my papers. I didn't sign that shit. And they were like, oh, so you're a king. And I'm like, what's that, a movie? This is real life. I'm black. What the fuck you talking about? They're like, oh, all right, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm a black dude. I'm from Boston. Like, I got it here. And they still served me and still STG'd me.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't matter if you sign that paper.
Yeah, don't matter.
That's just a formality.
Right.
That's just to get me the motherfuckers super fucked. When you sign that paper, it's like, yeah, you're admitting, you know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly. I was stupid enough to do it.
Yeah, right. Some people look at it like a badge of honor, like, yeah, they fucking...
Right. Yo, word.
Nothing wrong with that.
No bullshit.
I was ignorant at that time, too, thinking I was gangster, but now you look at it, it's like...
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've had people do it to me.
Yeah,
like, yo, this is my shit.
Yeah, like, please, get right.
Yeah, no bullshit. It's like I think I threw mine away. I fucking hate that shit. It's like, dude, what is this? Dude, fucking corny as hell, right? I felt like a cornball getting it because it was in front of the whole block.
Yeah, that's what happened. They embarrassed me. That's how I felt. I felt like I was like, hey, fuck it. Now we're full fledged. I was trying to fly it under the radar. You know what I'm saying?
So you straight committed yourself, even if it meant getting a life sentence. You was gonna get a life sentence.
At that time, bro, yes.
Yep. And so I know the feeling, so that's why I'm saying it like that, because I know when you're committed to that shit, it is just what it is.
It doesn't matter. You're like honestly living in the moment. Mm-hmm. It's like almost like nothing matters but what's in front of you almost.
What does it feel like for you thinking in the future because you can't even think about it?
The doors crack, you gotta face. See, that's the difference between us and a lot of people. Like Maddie knows this. When them doors shake, you have to face whatever's on the other side of the door, but you can't bitch up. And that's the thing I've learned about the real world, Maddie. Like, I can actually walk away from problems today.
Yo,
like, I don't have to punch everyone in the face or stab someone or try to kill someone. I can walk away and still survive and still not be looked at like a bitch. Because in there, you can't. You almost really can't. So if it's like, if that door opens and as soon as you come out, your brother, your comrade's out there punching a cop out, you got to go ride out for him, and that sucks.
Or you will be a bitch.
And then when you come back, you're going to get your head kicked in. For not, you're better off doing that. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
Because
dodge one fight 30.
That's it.
I mean? Yep.
And it's so dangerous because one punch gets thrown and it affects so many lives. And then when you're in like a position of like when a high ranking member or influential member such as myself, like when I was, you got to think about like people's families, people's mothers, people's like you got to think about that, bro. Because if I send a bro to go do something to a cop, I send this brother to go stab this cop. He's never getting out of prison. He's getting his ass kicked. It's almost like a never-ending cycle of bullshit because people want to abuse and exercise their power for the wrong fucking reason.
Word.
Bro. You know what I mean? I was never that type of leader because we lead from the front. If I'm not gonna tell my little bro that's 18 years old that just came up with a fresh life bid to go do this, if I'm not gonna go fucking do it myself, I'm gonna say, all right, let me show you how to do this, bro.
Absolutely.
I got you. And I'm gonna go strap up and show him how to do it and go to the box with him. Because a
by
lot of
example.
people will say like, yo, why are you got soldiers, you gotta use them. So I start doing it and they're like, oh, look, he's sending people now. It's like, kid, you said this and now I'm doing this. Like, what the fuck you want? You know what I mean?
I've been here with this.
Like, what do you want?
You lower yourself by doing it yourself, they said.
But if you don't, then everyone's like, oh, he could have done it himself.
Yeah, he sends everybody to do his dirty work.
Come on, bro.
Dude,
What? I've been dealing with that shit even to this fucking day. I deal with that shit. Oh, you send somebody. It's like, yeah, motherfucking right. Like,
and so you was up there. This is a great story, your Max story.
Yeah.
So you get over there, right? What's the first block you hit in the Max?
Michael 1.
Michael 1. What's it like for you down there?
As soon as I got there, I see fucking... I don't even say his name, bro. I'll say his name. I see Dennis Smalls, right? I'm like, kid, give me one reason. He goes and fucking... Remember Handlebars? Mikey,
yeah. Mikey,
the Handlebars.
Yeah, that's Mikey, that's Mikey Burke.
Burke.
Yeah, Mikey Burke.
So Smalley comes in and punches Mikey Burke's head off the rip. That was the first thing he...
I remember that.
Day. You was there?
I was supposed to get a quarter.
Yo, bro.
You was sending it to me in the STP and you guys got locked down. I was so mad.
So they take Smalley. This is my first.
Mikey Burke had it in his sock.
He was
so he got knocked out
right?
with my damn fucking shit in his sock. He went out to the rec deck to get my shit. He pulled it in off the rec deck, came in on the tier, and they got knocked out.
So that happens. Next day, I see this CO that I went to fucking middle school with. I'm like, oh shit. But then it's funny because I never seen him again after that. But I seen him, and he stopped by my door and he's like, yo, Mark. And I'm like, and I said his name. His last name's Thompson, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like, such and such? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I got you. Never seen him again.
Yeah.
He's supposed to look out for me, whatever. But that was that. Then from there, the day that I'm supposed to leave.
What, classification?
No. So they checked my paperwork. My bros and shit. They checked my paperwork. Everything was good. I get cleared.
Where was that, in Walpole?
No,
or
in
Max. Oh, in M1,
yeah,
okay.
So I get there. I see a few bros, salute them. They check my paperwork. Everything's good. Because when you get up there, like if you gangbanging, your colors get frozen off the rip until they do a full, like you. Okay. A nigga could have checked off in the county. A nigga could have been a rat. A nigga could have been down for killing another brother. You never know. Like, so there's certain things that people got. You could be a Skinner. Right. You got to check what's going on. So they checked my paperwork. I was good. I got cleared. About 5 days later, I'm about to go, they tell me, pack up, you're going to P2. They're like, yo, the bro's going to go to the chow hall block. Like, I knew he was going to go to the chow hall block. I'm like, all right, word. I get up to P2. Now, I don't know P2's to the right, so I walk right in N1 because the door, N2, because the door's open. I walk in there like the boss. I see the bro there, I dap him up, I'm like, yo, what's good? I'm kicking it. They're like, no, he's supposed to be on P2. Get him out of here. But at that time, N2, P2 was in the chow hall together. Yeah. So, long story short, I end up going to P2. They're having a shakedown. So I walk right into a shakedown. Dang. And then they didn't even let me in the block. They was like, all right, bring him down to Michael 1 for another hour. We'll finish up here and then leave his property or whatever. And then I went back up. The dude's like, yo, why'd you come back? Looked like I checked off or something. Like, what happened? I'm like, nah, they're up there doing a shakedown. They're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, all right, nigga, I'm going right back up there. I'm like, put me back my same cell, the same. So boom, I go back, everything's good. I'm up there chilling. I'm up there for like, I don't know, man, like 50-something days.
Was there other kings over there? I know N2 was packed tight.
Yeah, but there wasn't as many on P2 was N2 at that time. But so I'm up there, and then about 56, 57 days, I caught my first DDU ticket.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What happened?
I was beefing with the vice lords at the time. I'm not gonna say no names, but dudes from Worcester was trying to act tough. They owed some bread. Shit didn't go right, whatever. Ended up getting banged down. And at the time, it's funny because they took pictures. They're supposed to be taking in. Yeah. You know what you did. Right. Yeah, 18 months, almost 2 years in DDU.
What ended up happening?
Aggravated assault.
Aggravated assault?
Not
okay. Yeah, just the regular, yeah.
Dude, was it SDG? but it was in the spot.
Okay.
Like off camera type shit.
You end up
It
going.
was me and Diablo and them.
Oh, Diablo.
Yeah, me
Okay,
and
what's
Diablo.
up?
Yeah. I haven't heard from him. I don't know what's going on with him.
Nah.
But shout out to Diablo.
Yeah, salute to you, bro.
Hey, you know who you are, bro.
He's a crazy bastard.
Yeah, that's my boy.
So you go to DDU. What's
So
your
I know I sit. So
Okay.
I'm in the hole.
Yeah,
at
yeah.
K3. They know me very well in K3 on the North Side. I was in that motherfucker for a long time. So they're like, so they come around one day and I'm like, yo, it's like, what's good? Like, when am I gonna? They're like, oh, you're gonna be in this cell for about let's see, maybe 5 months. And then I'm like, 5 months? I'm like, just in this cell? Like, yeah, because it's a long way to go to DDU, man. You got a lot of people. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to be here for 5 months sitting in this cell to wait to go to another cell? Like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, so you got to go to Walpole. And I'm just like, this is... So right there, I was just stressed out. I was just like, all right, whatever. So I sat in the cell 5 months.
Yeah.
And then I went. I made a lot of good connections and met a lot of good people along that time. But
what was your time like in the hole? Like your first experience up there in the Max hole?
I was getting money.
Yeah.
I was making a lot of money. Because a good friend of mine, he passed away, but he was one of the people that started the whole epidemic.
Yeah.
Sent me some. I didn't even know what I had. I'm such an idiot. I thought a bitch wrote me.
What, the kid Luigi?
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. But
he's dead.
Right, no, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I go by his pole every day and pray for him and talk to him.
Oh,
that's a really good childhood friend. We lived on the same street. Remember that street I told you?
That's right. He's from Eastie,
yeah.
right? Yeah. I
He
forgot all about that.
I grew up with him my whole life.
I just talked. Yeah, all right.
So he sent me something. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't know what I had. It was my first time. I'm a novice. I don't know what I'm a rookie. It's my first month up there. I'm like, all right. So I get this shit, and I'm thinking a broad wrote me.
Yeah.
But thank God I'm a hoarder. Like, I keep all my mail. I keep everything because I would have just threw it up and fucking didn't even know. I just threw away fucking 10 grand.
Yeah.
So fucking I got it. Then one day someone was like, yo, fucking, you're from Eastie, right? What's up with this person? I'm like, I don't know. So I called my sister and she's like, yo, Lou said send him his $500. What the fuck's doing, asshole? And I'm like, the fuck? How? My good looks? What do you mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, he said he wrote you. So then I was putting it all together. So I go to my locker, I grab the mail, big ass piece. At the time it was gas.
No, dude.
No, I didn't smoke it.
Oh.
I didn't even know you could smoke it.
Yeah.
I sent it down to my man Mikey, Cape Verdean Mikey. He started tweaking, epping out. He started epping, you heard?
Yeah.
Then he came right back. You heard? To the rec there. We went to the rec cages the next day, he came back. And I made a lot of money in the hole.
Yeah, bro. That shit is fucking gas, dude. And you never touched it yourself?
No. I'd shoot it. I like to chew, but the smoking shit,
yeah. So powerful, bro, yeah.
The chew, yeah, a little bit. It depends, though. It gotta be like, it can't be like the, I gotta like, you know.
a little bit at a time. It comes in slower.
Yeah, you know how like the chew, like, one time I did some chew, deuce. And I woke up like 3 a.m. and fucking started epping on my bunk. I thought I was falling through my bunk. I was sweating. I was putting water all over my face. Because it didn't hit me. Like, you forget you take it and you're to sleep. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes I would eat it and then forget I ate it and smoke it hit like right as it's kicking into it. I'd be like double, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit's bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that shit was crazy, that deuce, man.
Don't do it. Now it's even more crazy.
Oh, I know.
You see people epping out in the cells.
We're throwing up
fishes,
seizures.
Everybody's high right now in Shirley Medium. Good friend of mine, he's locked up there. He calls me all the time. He said it's zombie land. All the hitters, all the hustlers, all the big dogs, all the OG top members, and they're all fiending, smoked out.
Bro, where that's
all
like crack too.
Everybody smoked out. There's no more like that's the man over there. Nah, they're coming to lug the man. They're coming to lug him. You heard?
So you're up there and you get lugged. You go to DDU. That's 2 years stretch, right?
It was like little less.
Little less. So what's it like in DDU for you?
My first week there, you know who I was with? I was with Skillet. Shout out to Skillet.
Yeah.
I was DDU is real, bro.
Yep.
So I get on the tier with a childhood friend of mine I ain't seen in years, off the rip. And then the dude that's in the cell next to him, his name's Joe Wise. R.I.P. to Joe Wise. Mm-hmm. He killed himself. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but he was trying to get down with. He was lying, telling people he was.
Oh, with me? Yeah.
One of your people in Skill was like, kid, you're not. Cut that out. You're not.
Yeah.
So he cut that out.
Yeah.
But they switched his meds, and he was there for a staff assault, but they were lying, trying to save his skin. He wasn't no skin.
Right.
He was there for a staff assault, so the police was always fucking with him. Then they switched his meds, and he just One day he just killed himself and fucking,
Damn. In the U?
and then you on my tail. Listen to this. My was my first week there before I even had my property, and came down. They rolled his body out. Like I could see through the crack of my door, and they rolled his body down, bro, with a breathing machine. I was like, oh shit. That was my first like, oh shit, this shit's real. Bro.
Yeah.
Dead ass. He was a fish. He was done.
Damn, that's some hard ass shit. So you grew up with that kid?
No,
You
the
knew
kid
him, man?
Joe Wise. No, I didn't really know him like that. But he was on the tail with me, and it was weird because like he was talking to me. Like it was just weird. Like we used to take showers. You know how you gotta come from the end of the showers, and that like he was like the dude that he was in the shower next to me all the time because we took showers together. You know what I mean? And fucking so when they were cuffing us out the day before he killed himself, we took showers that day, and he was like, "Yo, what's up, man? Yo, can you fish me down some cough drops?" And we're like, "Yeah, you know what I mean, whatever." So he's all sending them cough drops, sending them shit, whatever. And you know, DDU's so cold, right? And I don't mean to be like funny when I say this. But after he was dead and they wailed his body out, right? Because it's happened like 4 a.m. You're not supposed to talk. You're not supposed to flush your toilet. You're supposed to shut the fuck up. So they roll him out, and then someone goes on the tear. Damn, that nigga couldn't wait till fucking canteen. That motherfucker owed me $5. That motherfucker, I was like, yo.
That's crazy.
I was like,
people just don't care, bro.
Word, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Word, bro.
So, damn, that happened.
Yeah.
And how did that kind of make you feel about being there?
Only the strong survive. Like, you know, survival of the fittest. It's like you're by yourself, bro, back against the wall, man. You got to man up and can't be weak-minded. You gotta like keep a strong mind and just work out and read and write and don't talk to cops. Go to the yard and yard time and don't duck wreck if they're trying to cut cages. You know what I mean?
Word. And how long? You said you did 18 months or something about that?
I did like a little like they did. It was a year, so I got a year. I got 18 months, but I did like 17 months. I did like a spectrum thing. They took a month off. Or
okay, cool.
Shit. Yeah.
And what was it like getting out after that time back to population?
Weird.
Mad,
so
right?
I was going back to Michael 1.
Yep.
After I got out from there, I left. I went back to, but I had to go to L1 because the dude that I got in the situation with was on Michael 1, and they wouldn't sign waivers because a weapon was involved. You know how that they used to do that?
Yep.
That if you stab someone, now I don't know how it is. It's probably different now, but at that time, if you stab someone or you kick somebody or shot foot someone, they won't sign the waiver. They don't let you sign waivers because of the weapon involved.
Want to know how I know it is now? Someone told me because I talked to dudes up in the max. You get into a fight, you sign waivers right after the fight.
Yeah.
And they put you back together.
Yep.
There's no more separation. Guys who were fighting, coming out of the hole and stabbing each other right away.
No.
They still doing it.
Yeah, I know.
They're killing each other over it.
Yeah, because the prison's not held liable no more. And the max, from what I hear right now, because my boy Dana's up there, Free Dana. Matter of fact, he was on the B. Luke joint. He told me that motherfuckers again poked up, stomped out, jumped, all that, and coming out in 10 days. And it's because they're trying to focus on letting everybody kill each other so that the staff don't get assaulted. But if you punch a cop in the face, you're going to DDU.
Oh, and you're going to get smashed out and get a bid.
Yeah, because right now they're not playing with staff because the max of that last situation with the dude Fuller.
Word. And were you there when that happened?
Yeah, I was there. I was on P2 when it happened.
So,
I seen it on the news. It happened at 10. They shut the jail down. And then at noon, it was on Channel 7.
That was your boys, too. Or they said allegedly. It was your boys. Allegedly, right? Allegedly. Let's talk about the reality of that right there.
Bro, we had nothing to do with that.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
they try to paint this whole thing, bro. Right now, there's a lawsuit. They just won, actually.
Yeah.
The Grayside won.
Yep.
But there's a lawsuit. My boy V, shout out to V.
Yep.
He's about to get out.
My guy.
He's about to get like $4 million. They did that to him for no reason because they were trying to say he was the leader of Lion King. He wasn't the fucking leader.
The dog bit on his leg.
The dog bit him and almost took his nuts off, bro.
I'm going to play a little clip of that for you guys.
He almost lost his nuts, bro. That's why I say that gang shit ain't it.
Word.
Because he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't on the block when it happened. And they came and beat the shit out of him and he's 4 foot nothing. Word. Like, come on, bro.
I mean, the staff assault was crazy, and then when they came through after with the COs,
they beat the shit out of us.
That was an injustice that I've never seen.
Then they emergency classed everyone and changed the whole jail, took all our property. Was you there for that?
Yeah.
Bro, remember they stripped us all in our boxes and made us walk to the gym, came back, took everything out the block. Everything. All property out the block.
I guess
I had a single cell. I was a runner. I was doing good, bro. I was on the emergency class list at that time. Do you think I could still qualify for that or not?
The cell door opens and the team charges inside. Officers scream, "Stop resisting." Paulino and his cellmate that day, Robert Silva Prentice, say they were not resisting. They say they were caught up in a violent, unprecedented wave of retribution and collective punishment by prison authorities after 4 officers were assaulted by prisoners on January 10th. Silva Prentice is escorted from the cell. He's in his underwear, hands cuffed behind his back. Paulino is also handcuffed behind the back and held by 2 officers. The guard attacks. Very disturbing stories.
Allegations of inmate abuse at Sousa Baranowski Prison in Shirley, allegedly in retaliation for last month's incident in which 3 corrections officers were hurt. A handful of state lawmakers made an unannounced 6-hour visit to the prison over the weekend.
Pointing a taser at their crotch area.
Allegations of beatings, dog attacks, stripped of clothing, legal paperwork confiscated, and access to attorneys shut down, even for inmates who were not in the unit where last month's attack happened.
Because there's so much that I want to talk about that happened when you were there.
I was there. I seen it. Yeah, I was on the block with you, bro.
Yeah, me and you was locked up together. But before you even get to the block with me, I heard your name when you were in N2. You knocked somebody out up there, or got into beef up there or something, and fucking then got shipped down to my block, right?
Yeah.
I know at one point, didn't someone like, I don't mean to bring it up, but did someone knock you out or hit you?
I got punched in my shit.
Yeah. What happened with that?
I got into a big brawl with the Nietas. And the kid shout out to Joe Vito, but he kind of caught me. I'm not gonna punch me.
It happens, bro.
Yeah, I got caught. But it is what it is.
Yeah, you get in enough fights.
It's like 17 motherfuckers fighting. But like I say, fucking, you can't win them all. And if if you've never been punched in your shit or you never been up there, it don't matter. Like people come up there like, oh, I was in the feds. Yeah, I was in this. Dudes don't care who you are, bro.
Word. The state is a war zone.
But we was brawling and I got punched in my shit. It is what it is.
And the feds is nothing like the state, because I talk to Boo Boo all the time, or I talk to people that are there in Boo Boo, and they'll tell you that this state is a war zone. It's stressful in a different way. It's beef with beef. It's like beef with all these different crews. You're always got a chance of seeing them in the hallways or coming into the block. It's always war. It's always a stress thing in the feds. You're only gonna beef when someone comes in and they're no good, or something like that. It's like, it's not like that, bro. It's not like this state where it's just constant war, bro, and you're seeing your smoke and shit. Like, what are you doing up on N2 before that big brawl happens? Like, how do you know why it happened?
Yeah, because somebody got terminated and the Nietas wasn't minding their business.
Oh, okay.
And they tried to jump in or whatever. And
so was it one of the Nietas' friends or something?
Yeah, like they all grew up together.
Okay. They're
like from Holyoke, and then that whole Springfield, Boston thing happened with, RP, A nice, but...
Were you there for that?
Yeah, it was the front line of that.
Damn. Yo, let's talk about that. I haven't had anybody on that. Yo, so this is the biggest fight that happened in the Max.
The Kings with the... no, I'm talking about the war we had going on with the Kings from Springfield.
Oh, that's a big one too. Let's talk about that. So
I wasn't there for the big gym. You talking about the gym fight?
No, the one in the hallway that happened on N2 or P2, N2, that little... It was Bloods and Kings, I think. Or Bloods on Bloods, maybe.
Oh, you're talking about the big one.
Yeah.
The child, when they let us all go back to the child. Oh, no. I was there for that, but I was watching Aquaman on the house movie, and I didn't go to chow.
Damn.
I didn't go to chow that day. Me and my Sully, we were watching Aquaman came out of some shit. He was like, yo, I want to watch this. I'm like, I was like, yo, I got food, whatever. I'll just, lock my door, whatever. And then African T, I'll never forget, African T came back. He was like, big fight, big fight in the cell, big fight. I was like, what happened? And then all the cells, bro, I'll never forget, like 20 cells, they just was taking property.
Yeah.
And we were locked down for a minute for that.
Yeah, bro.
We were locked down for a minute. They were shipping dudes out. They brought people from the outside.
Yeah, the gang task force came
and
in.
then we got it. Then we got into it with the Bloods after. Remember when we?
Yep.
Yeah, it was different. It was different.
So
we got into it with the gorillas and shit.
How does beef between any gang, like say if you're a king or you're a blood, but it doesn't even matter what the gang is, but like because you were a king, you would know more about that probably. But like when you guys start having smoke with a whole crew, like a Bloods or something like that, what is the game plan there? Do you guys like?
It depends what it's over.
Yeah.
So like, it's more about who's right.
Right.
Than anything. Because you're right or wrong. Maddie, if you're my brother and we part of the same shit, I'm going to ride for you.
Right.
I'm going to tell you you're fucking wrong after.
Right.
But if not, I'm going to be like, whatever. You have no choice because you're my bro. But in situations like that, where if somebody violates, like say if one of my peoples was wrong, we're dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make it right and we're going to deal with our people. But a lot of the times with other, I won't say certain gangs or certain factions, but they don't always deal with their people the right way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
like they'll let their people violate and not do nothing and try to. And my peoples didn't like that. So there was a situation where one of their people violated and they didn't really make that shit right.
Right.
So we moved on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they got to keep a balance, right? Like
because you got to remember. Think about it. You got to remember. We get in a big brawl. Dudes are going to the hole.
Yeah.
So. And at that time, you might not be getting out the hole. So you're not going to see that dude. So by the time he actually gets dealt with, people done forgot. There's so much other shit that done happened.
Right.
People don't even care.
Right.
At that point. Then there's a whole nother wave of people that's probably wasn't even there when it happened. So like, it's like time is just like, but when the dude came back, they didn't do nothing, bro. And they didn't violate him. And they didn't do what they were supposed to do, so their big homie got smashed. That was that.
Damn. Yeah, this was a cold ass world, bro. And were you down on N1 when the Bloods beef with
the Bloods against Bloods?
Yeah.
Yo,
let's talk about that.
In the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
The 20s, bro. That was a crazy ass.
Because I was there and I was on the yard though. I didn't get to see it.
We was coming in from the yard when it happened.
Yo, let's talk about that.
That was my nigga Chapo.
Yeah, Chop's a good one. Yep.
Chop fucking.
That's my dog.
Put it down on somebody and just that shit was crazy. Briz got done. A few people. I didn't want to say names, but people got done. Put it this way, bro. Like when you see shit like that, when you see like king on king crime, blood on blood crime, or even like, certain like the C-Dubs or whoever, beating each other up. Like it kind of like makes you look at this shit like. If they're willing to do that to their people,
right?
You better know that they're going to do worse to you.
That's
called cleaning up your own backyard. We have no problem cleaning up anyone else's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, they had to make sure the backyard was clean, but I didn't really know what that was over, but that shit was a wild-ass fight.
Chop told me what was over. I'll keep it out of the podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. It didn't even look like, bro, like when I seen it, dude, he did one of these, like,
but also
seen the blood and then started freaking out. Right.
You know
he was violating.
He was violating.
Yeah, he was violating.
Yeah. And
he was making the homies look bad.
Right.
Because if that get out to another gang, it looked like, that's like there's a lot of undercover people who do sobo.
Yeah.
That they don't want you.
Closet sniffers.
Sneak sniffers. Sneak sniffing, I call it. And that was one thing that, like, me and my people's, it's like, you want to get high, just don't let your debt be my debt. I don't give a fuck if you get high. You're a grown man.
Word.
But there's other gangs that they don't play that shit. And I used to know some people that used to get high. And I never told nobody that, what they were doing. But, fast forward, a lot of them are either not doing that. Their flaw ended up coming out, spilling out. You know what I mean? But I used to see a lot of that. And it used to be over usually drugs most of the time.
And there's so much more we could talk about your prison sentence, but there's some more stuff I got to talk about with you, and we don't have all the time in the world. So I want to talk to you about what year is it that you actually get out?
2021.
How long did you end up doing?
September 1st. I did exactly 12 years and like 9 months.
And you did your whole bid in the max?
Yep, my last 8 months in Norfolk.
In Norfolk?
But I was in the hole a few times and shit.
What was the switch like? Did you feel like going to Norfolk?
I had a fucking anxiety attack.
Yeah.
As soon as I got there. Swear to God, I'm seeing dogs and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, trannies. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
A freak show. I'm seeing niggas who I know's a rat.
Yeah.
I know you told. I know, like, what the fuck? And I
What
just
about
got
Pickle Park?
stuck. I got stuck looking out on the track in the infirmary in the HSU. Like, when I first got there, like, so stuck that somebody that knew me walked right up behind me. He was like, yo, Miz. And I was just like, oh, shit. Because I was so zoned out from being, like, in a maximum institution all those years.
Yeah.
And fucking, yeah, that shit was crazy. Crazy transition.
And what was it like in Norfolk?
Lit. I made the most money I ever made. Fucking got big as shit. Ate the best food. Fucking had a spell room. Bagged a bitch. You already know.
Where?
Lit.
Hell yeah, you bagged a bitch
Concept.
there?
But now the COVID hit and it was game over.
Oh.
I got there right when they shut everything down.
What was COVID like in there?
Bunch of people crying that never spent a day without rec.
So
I came from a big lockdown right to another lockdown. I was like, hey, whatever. Fuck
Right.
this. We got a hot pot. We got this. This is good.
yo, locked in Norfolk is great.
Chilling.
That sounds good to me.
They open your door. You can walk out to the phone. Like, what are you talking about?
That's a lockdown?
Lockdown is locked in on the block. So the doors never shut in the houses, but when you first get in at 8-1, it's like the max. There's locked doors and shit that slide. But they don't come to your door and serve you chow. You gotta go down and get your chow.
Yeah.
When it's your phone
Yeah.
rec time, you go, your showers, like you get a shower, rec, all that.
So your door doesn't close?
Not in the houses, no.
What do you mean the houses?
So if you get whatever house you get equated to,
Yeah. So it's like a unit?
Like
a house
like
is a
so
unit?
so orientation is like the setup of the buildings is like the max.
Yeah.
But once you go to a block, like
Yeah.
a regular block after
Yeah.
orientation, it's a house. There's a hot pot, a stove.
It's a house, like a college. Say it's a
house.
college campus, right?
It's literally a college campus.
So it's a house, like a jet
A
house.
crib. And there's
the
the
fuck
tier,
outta
at the
here.
end of the tier is locked like at night.
Yeah.
But there's a bathroom. You can come out yourself, walk in the next nigga's door, knock on the door. There's a window. But like all we used to do all night is I would come over, gamble all night, go in the fire room.
Yeah.
And if you want to, somebody got a problem, you want to go fight, step to the fire room.
Really?
You know, I'm like 3-0. I'm like 3-0 in the fire room. No bullshit, bro. In the fire room.
Boy, step in the fire
Yeah,
room.
you gotta get your. You know what I
Do
mean?
that.
Like I said, I lost fights too. Like he was talking about earlier. Like I got punched in my shit too.
I lost one too. You were there.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't. I don't really consider that a loss.
That was
I
a
remember
loss
that.
to me.
That was the day Chad got out of fucking DDU, bro. I'll
Yep.
never forget that.
Yeah.
Street Chad, man. I just spoke to Chad.
Salute to Chad.
Shout out to Chad.
Where?
Yo, that was the day Chad got out of DDU, bro. It's so crazy. I never forget that.
Bird.
Yeah,
I got
the
beat
tray.
up.
You had the tray in your cell.
Yep.
Shouldn't have had
Spilled
that
the
in
cereal all over my
Shouldn't
floor.
have had that in there.
I fucking, it's like an ice skating rink in there. Kid, I had socks on, dude. I definitely jumped the gun on that. I was overconfident. I called them out in bobos.
I don't matter.
In an injured back. But it was like, you know what? I still could have won the fight, I guess. It was just like the cop was coming around, so we had to stop. And it was like, you know what I mean? And then shit was dead after that. It sucked. But yeah, it is what it is, bro. You know, can't win them all, right?
I can't win them all. No, I lost. I got punched. That's what I said. Like, even though my shit was in a big brawl, like I didn't really see it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he caught me, but like when you got the head up in the spot, you got to know what you're doing because it's like you could bang your shit and it's game over. Like I see motherfuckers come out that cell looking crazy.
Oh man, dude.
And I seen people come out. It looks like they're beefing, but not a mark on them.
Yeah,
Like some weird shit.
Word, bro.
You know what I
I
mean?
see people
Like-
get jumped without a mark on them, dude.
I seen shit where dudes like, yo, you didn't see he got stabbed. I'm like, where?
That's that fake
No
gang
blood.
banging shit.
Yeah, I'm like, there's not a drip of, like, I remember there was 17 motherfuckers beefing. The OG was like, was it a drip of blood? Everybody started laughing and shit. I'm like, yo. I remember that when you got into it with bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I was getting in more fights, so if I lost one fight, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
but how many
there,
you
but-
win? If you don't lose a fight, bro, you never been in no fight.
Word.
It's losing is a state of mind.
We-
If we pull up and you be like, okay, can he fight? No, tough guy. Can you take a beating?
Right.
Because I can.
Right,
All right, cool.
right.
Because that's what it is, man. It's not about, oh, he lost a fight. Nah.
Fact.
Dude had a better day.
Word. You
And
know,
I've seen motherfuckers that's really nice with this. Like, I was training with 4/5 and I'm like,
Yeah.
he's like, yo, bro, somebody might have a better day than me. I'm not the Golden Glove
word.
champion. Like, I seen Hood Boss. Hood Boss had a situation where he didn't come out so victorious. And that's
Right.
what it is. It don't matter who you are. It don't
And
matter.
Hood Boss is a big dude, bro.
Yeah, Hood Boss is a beast. He didn't He'll tell you I ain't won them all. It don't matter how tough you are.
Hood boss stabbed fucking Paul Pierce.
Yeah, that's what he got locked up for. I don't know the real story behind it, but that's what he's bagged for.
That shit was funny. I used to think that he just did it just so he could say he stabbed Paul Pierce.
Nah.
Right, but nah.
Yo, if you watching this, hood, don't come for me.
right. I love you, bro.
Love you, my brother.
Nah, yeah. But man, so you end up getting out, you said in what, 2021,
Yeah.
and
I went in 09, got out 21.
now you're rapping.
Yep.
Not just rapping, but you're like on a big screen in New York rapping. Like I'm gonna put that picture up too, bro.
Yeah,
bro, you're really rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on a real level. So what's it like, bro?
Feels good, man. It's hard. It's hard maintaining like a 9 to 5 and still trying to do music, because my schedule kind of permits me to do it. I just got my job back, so it's hard to keep the balance, but it's like every day something with music, and it's like opportunities just keep flowing. And you know, people say that, oh, you gotta have money coming in this industry. Not necessarily.
Right.
You gotta really have talent. Like it's still, the talent still matters in a sense where people don't want to fuck with no whack shit. We want to hear something that's gonna sound good in my ears. And I feel like I got that voice and that flow for that, especially when I'm the only person coming from my city that's really on it. Because there's no other East Boston rappers. Like I put my shit in Google, GPT chat AI.
Chat GPT.
It says some crazy ill shit about me.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, there's no national.
I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna put it up. Right.
It says there's no nationally famous rappers from East Boston, but Mort Beazy is the closest thing to a living legend that Eastie's ever seen.
Oh shit! Look at that, living legend, baby.
And I've only been doing this for the last 4 years. And I've been in jail twice since.
Yeah.
I'm out on bail right now. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you type yours, it'll probably say podcast. It'll probably say all the stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've typed my name in before. It does. It says all that shit.
Yeah.
But yo, so
does it say anything about the MMA shit?
nah, man. My brother was a mixed martial artist. He
But
was a pro
you're good
fighter.
with that though, right?
I can fight. I fought boxing. I boxed growing up. I whooped my brother's ass. And that's all I need to do. You know what I mean? But he trains me, bro. He trained me. I mean, we fought. I mean, I've been fighting my whole life. I learned in the streets how to fight.
This dude taught me a move that like, when he was in the max to get up off the floor, or if you get him on the floor, to rap.
Yeah.
There's times like, yo, once you hit the floor, it's over.
Yeah.
Showing me a bunch of different shit.
Yeah.
I don't be letting nobody just grab up on me like that. Maddie, my boy, man. He was like, I want to show you some shit. And I used it one time, and I was beefing with this dude, and I did this shit. I got up off because he was like,
oh, you came in handy?
Yeah. I like got up off him like with that roll shit you was telling me, like that little move to get up real quick, and I did that shit, and I started whooping his ass.
Word.
But he was like kind of bigger than me and shit, so he kind of like
absolutely.
He's kind of big for nothing really, but
a lot of dudes that are big really didn't have to fight like that. I was a small kid growing up. Right. I was a little kid, scrawny as fuck, dude. And I got I had.
That's like dudes in the max who were like, oh, listen, bro. If you that big, that means you're not in the hole. Mm-hmm. You don't have to.
Right? Yeah. I'm skinny because I don't eat, bro. I'm in the hole.
The little guys are the ones that are dangerous. In there, bro.
They'll cut you.
Word. Those are the ones.
So you're not. So let's kind of touch on this rap shit still, man. Like you just did something with Millie's, right?
Yep, I got the track with Millie's. We're gonna be shooting the music video real soon. Big shout out to Millie's. Big shout out to C's. Big shout out to Artie. Big shout out to Sobe. Everybody who pretty much put that together. Big shout out to Preem for introducing me and this other person that made this all happen. And you know, basically, when we get time, because you know, everybody in this rap shit. If I'm busy in this rap shit, imagine the dude Millie's. He got to be 100 times more busy because he got a lot of shit going on. I just went to his show at the MGM Graham, and one thing that I paid attention to that he said was that when he first went there and told him that he wanted to open that venue when he was like first rapping and shit, that they laughed at him.
Damn.
They didn't take him serious.
Because he looks kind of like a dork.
I don't think that was it. I think it was more out of like, kid, you know, like,
yeah,
get out of here.
You're not black.
See you later. Whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever it was just more like I feel like there was like he didn't have it in him like to really bring a crowd out like
right.
That shit holds fucking almost.
He's the fucking nastiest rapper in the whole country.
Talk about that.
Yo,
let's talk about how he's the best in Boston, the best in Mass. Like let's talk about
the best
New England.
in the country.
He's one of the best he's one of the most consistent.
Yeah.
So and he's nice.
I can't say that because I'm not so into rap that I know all of it, but I do know that I fuck with Millies and I don't fuck with a lot of dudes. You know what I mean? And he's a beast.
He's one of the ones, the song with me and him, bro, is fire.
Yeah.
It's called No Mercy.
No Mercy.
It's so fire.
Look for that shit.
We got the video shoot coming, and it's a big opportunity for me because like I feel like once this happens, I'm in the game now.
Absolutely, brother. You're already in the game. You got your foot in the door, but definitely once this video drops. But also, do you have any sneak previews of that?
Yeah, I could play a little clip of it for y'all.
Yeah, you want to play it? Let's do this shit.
I'm really tapped in with the Asians. Slide and pour the Prince shit. I'm tapped in with the Haitians. 617, we the biggest. Get your car flipped on the Zake. Shout out to Mort. Beazy did his time, got on his feet again. They rather see you on the news.
My paper good, it don't mean that I'ma ride with it. All them judges be handing out is a life sentence. They hide mentions of stars all in they car ceiling. The bartenders be slows all in they hard feelings. Another beer, well fuck it, I need another shot. Stepping out the bodega out on my fucking block. Hard home training, the system be trying to keep us locked. Mom's worst fear is just seeing you laying in the smog. Lord have mercy on his soul and the sins he made. Like the Reaper just standing out on my fucking grave. More time wasted, they really be trying to keep us chained. Fast breaking all in the shop, right when I hit the lane. We just really talking the truth. They trying to say we crazy. We just really talking the truth. They trying to say it's fake. Never in my life did I think that I would change the game. This the type of shit that be selling, I'm trying to pave the way. Had them people calling me Keenan, this shit is major pain. All up in the sight with the demons, I'm trying to keep the faith. Tough times kill them, believe me, I'm keeping up the pace. White collar criminals, only way we can play is safe. All I ever did was deliver, I'm like the pizza place, man. Numbers only restriction, y'all gotta give me space. Nah, for real, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. That shit's tough too.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
I can't wait till that shit drops.
Yo, we're gonna shoot in Cambridge for Millie's verse. I'm gonna shoot in East Boston for my verse. Stay tapped in, more Beazy. I know I'm gonna remind him, he probably forgot. We only got a few minutes. We want to talk a little bit about addiction and
okay, let's do this.
Drug use, alcohol use, and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna shed some layers with you. I'm an alcoholic, dude. Let me just be 100. I drink every day. I've been drinking probably there's 365 days in a year. I drink probably 300 days of the year since I've been home. And the only times that I don't drink or haven't drank is when I went back to prison in 2022. I went back to South Bay for like 4 months. I got a 6-month sentence and got my probation revoked, thank the good Lord. But I have a new case now that I caught maybe 18 months after that I was out. I got in a fight. Well, allegedly got in a fight. And it's open. I can't really talk about it. But allegedly something happened downtown. I got in an incident and I was drinking. And it was a direct result of drugs and alcohol. And not disciplining myself to do better for one and to just, hold back from my urges and temptations, but also to stop hiding from my own reality. So shout out to anybody who's struggling with addiction out there. A big shout out to Exit Fame too, Cotto, and a few other people that I know talk about it and go through things. Sometimes you got to take the mask off and take the layer off. And I didn't, even though I grew up in AA and NA, I heard my mother give a commitment, for Christ's sakes, when I was a little kid. But like, literally, I never actually came on TV and said, hey, I'm a drunk. You know what I mean? So I'm getting better. I've been slowing down, but like, it's definitely been a problem.
Why is it so important for you, real quick?
What, drinking?
Yeah.
Like, actually getting drunk or stop drinking? Stopping drinking or getting drunk?
Drinking. Or, no, telling people, sorry.
Oh, telling people. Oh, because what is the first step? Admitting you got a problem. And it helps me to talk about, because I know there's other people that are going to see this, like mathematics. I know he'll probably look at this, and certain people, even B. Luke, and try to find a way not to enable me to drink. And I'm a grown man, but I'm a grown 36-year-old man. I'm going to do what the fuck I want. But like,
we'll find a way to try to help you too.
Yeah, it sometimes you need to hear. Even Maddie said it to me. He said, you got all the signs of being an addict, kid. Slow it the fuck down. And sometimes you need to hear that. And that shit stuck in my mind and resonated in my mind. That's how you know I was listening to you. And it's funny because ever since that day, I started looking at myself like, nigga, you a fiend. Like, you know what I mean? But I ain't no fiend. I just, I like to have fun, man. I like to indulge, but I know that it's becoming a problem especially if I continue to do it.
Right. Got you. Well, I appreciate you for showing up today, and I really appreciate you for sharing that with me. And your story is amazing. I can't wait to get this out, bro. It's a rap, kid. It's a movie. I appreciate you,
W
brother.
number, man. Tap in. Sully.
W number. Ow! I would say if you were involved in that and you're listening to this right now, as well as you, definitely contact Prisoners Legal Services and try to talk to Kate Piper.